Here we are. So, start very soon. Just gonna need a few minutes. I'm gonna start. In like a few seconds, I will start. One more second, guys. Sorry. Here we go. Sorry about that. Just wanted to get the recording working. Now, let's begin. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for episode 21 of the Benny in the Booth podcast. On this week's episode, we've got NBA All-Star Weekend with the game and events to unravel, a rant on everything that happened this weekend, and a roast, and on some huge news about next week's episode that definitely you're going to want to hear about. All coming up right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back for episode 21 of the Benny the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for all the support to this point. We are 2 subscribers away from the 75 to 100 subscriber goal by April 1st. If you know people that would enjoy this podcast and are not subscribed, tell them to come check it out and subscribe. 2 away. Very close. And basically a bit over 2 months till opening early release date. Breaking news. Potentially, it's not locked up, but most likely next week, I'm going to be having the first ever guest on the podcast. Yes, you heard me right. It is finally happening. It's finally, hopefully, been worked out. Next week, first ever guest on the podcast. We're going to be talking about NFL year in review, and if we have time, we'll maybe get into NBA. I'm not going to say, well, I will say if you want to know of like an idea of who this guy is, I'm not going to say name, but just because I want to keep it a bit of a surprise, but I guess saying the podcast won't make it much of a surprise, but got a very good podcast, talk show with Rami. It's on Spotify. You can find it on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all of those. I did not put links in the description, but you should be able to find it. Talk show with Rami. It's pretty much sports. It's even got hockey for those people that do like hockey. Go check it out. Very good podcast, and he's coming on next week. Bezos Hashem. Now, with all the big news out of the way, let's unravel this All-Star Weekend. My oh my! Where do I even start? I'm gonna go through all the events, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts in the roasting at the end because I don't want to start with the madness I have for the roasting I have at the end. Anyways, NBA All-Star Weekend. First up, the Celebrity Game, which was actually done at the Cleveland State Vikings Arena, which is right around the corner from the Cavs Arena. It was a mix of 2 teams. Team Walton, coached by Bill Walton, former NBA player, and another former NBA player is the other coach, Dominique Wilkins. For Bill Walton's team, he had Jimmy Allen, who's a singer and songwriter, Brittany Elena, who's a host, actress, athlete, and model, Machine Gun Kelly, singer-songwriter, Noah Carlock, a Fanatics All-In Challenge winner. I don't know what that challenge is all about. I just got these from Wikipedia. Dearica Hamby, who's a WNBA player, Kareem Hunt, who's the Browns running back, Matt James, who's on The Bachelor on ABC, Quavo, who's a rapper and recording artist, Ranveer Singh, who's an actor, Alex Toussaint, who's a Peloton instructor, and Anderson Varejao, who's a former Cleveland Cavalier player. He played center when he was in the NBA. Brazil, I think he's from Brazil. Interesting player. And then for Dominique Wilkins' team, he had Annual AA, a rapper, Justin Bibb, who's the mayor of Cleveland, Kane Brown, who's a 4-time AMA award-winning artist, Myles Garrett, the Browns' defensive end, Daniel Gibson, another former Cleveland Cavalier, Tiffany Haddish, who's a comedian, actress, and author, Jack Harlow, who's a rapper, recording artist, Chris Jackson, who's a part of the Harlem Globetrotters, Anjali Dive. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of the names, but most of these I have not heard before, so it could be I mispronounce people's names. Who's a singer and songwriter, Gianmarco Tamberi, who's an Olympic high jump champion, If I mispronounced any of the names, you can mention in the comments. Again, most of these people I've never heard of, but I just thought I would go through all the rosters. But in that celebrity game, Team Walton defeated Team Dominique 65-51. I don't think it had like a point specific thing, like first to like X points wins. I think it was just flat out a game. MVP was Alex Toussaint with 18 points. Next up, the Rising Stars Challenge, which was a matchup between 4 different teams of rookies and sophomores between NBA and some from the G League. 2 versus 2, and the winners would play each other for the champion. Now, how this worked is the first round games both were first to 50, and the championship was first to 25. Coaches representing the teams were Rick Barry, Gary Payton, James Worthy, and Isaiah Thomas. Team Barry, Rick Barry, consisted of Kane Cunningham of the Pistons, guard for the Pistons, Dyson Daniels, a forward in the G League, Evan Mobley, a forward for the Cavs, Isaac Okoro, a guard/forward for the Cavs, Alperen Sengun, a center for the Rockets, Jay Sean Tate, forward for the Astros, Rockets, and Franz Wagner, forward for the Magic. Team Peenan's team was LaMelo Ball, guard for the Hornets, Scotty Barnes, forward for the Raptors, Ayo Donsumu, guard for the Bulls, which I was happy to see him get involved over the weekend. Chris Duarte, guard for the Pacers. Scott Henderson, a guard in the G League. Jaden McDaniels, a forward for the Timberwolves. Almost mixed up basketball and baseball again. I don't know why I'm doing that today. Davion Mitchell from the Kings, a guard. Jonathan Kuminga, a forward from the Golden State. And Bones Highland, guard from the Denver Nuggets. Team Isaiah consisted of Precious Achiuwa, a forward/center for the Raptors. Desmond Bain, guard/forward for the Grizzlies. Sadiq Bey, Sadiq being Saddiq Bey with an E, not an A, forward for the Pistons. Anthony Edwards, guard for the Timberwolves. Tyrese Halliburton, guard for the Pacers. Jaden Hardy, a guard in the G League, and Isaiah Stewart, center for the Pistons. And then Team Worthy consisted of Cole Anthony, guard from the Magic, who was also in the slam dunk contest. Margin Beauchamp, who's a guard/forward in the G League. Josh Giddey, who's a guard for the Thunder. Jalen Green, guard for the Rockets. Herbert Jones for the Pelicans. Tyrese Maxey is a guard for the Sixers. And Jalen Suggs is a guard for the Magic. So what actually happened in the games? First up, Team Isaiah and Team Worthy faced each other, and Team Isaiah won on a game-winning free throw by Desmond Bain, 50-49. He recorded 10 points for Team Isaiah. Other than that, some other key point totals for Team Isaiah. Sadiq Bey had 16. Isaiah Stewart had 10. And for Team Worthy, Jalen Green had 20 points. Jalen Suggs had 16. In the end, Isaiah won that game 50-49. And the other matchup, that was still first round. Team Barry beat Team Payton 50-48 as Team Barry won on a Jay Sean Tate game-winning layup. Key point numbers for Team Barry: Cade Cunningham had 13 points. Evan Mobley had 13 as well. And then for Payton, Bones Highland had 10. Jaden McDaniels had 12. And then in the finale between Isaiah and Barry won the finale 25-20. Cade Cunningham winning MVP, I think it was. Franz Wagner with the game-winning free throw had 3 points. Precious for the Team Barry. Team Isaiah, Precious Achiuwa had 12 points. And that's the Rising Stars Challenge. So in the end, Team Barry won, and I think it was Cade Cunningham of the Pistons that won MVP. So the Skills Challenge, which, spoiler, this was, I think, the best event of the night. And usually it's like a few players compete and you go head to head and like different challenges. This year they did a whole different system, and I like this a lot better. They had 3 teams of 3 players each, like Team Cavs, Team Antetokounmpos, and Team Rookies. Rookies consisted of Scotty Barnes of the Raptors, who's a forward, Cade Cunningham, guard for the Pistons, and Josh Giddey, guard for the Thunder. Team Cavs consists of Jared Allen, who's a center, Darius Garland, who's a guard, and Evan Mobley, who's a center and forward, all play for the Cavs. And then Team Antetokounmpos, obviously Giannis, who's a forward for the Bucks, Alex, who's a forward for the Raptors G League team, and Thanasis, who's a forward for the Bucks as well. And they had three smaller rounds of 3 different events. Shooting, passing, relay. Shooting was like they had one area was 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 point, and in a certain amount of time you had to get as many points as you can. Passing was just like through a machine that would like move back and forth to see how many passes. Everyone went at the same time, and the shooting was one person at a time. And then relay is the usual skills challenge, but it's one player passes off to another. But it's the usual skills challenge, just dribbling around, layups, shooting, passing, like the usual relay they do. They had a tiebreaker, which was basically first person to make a 3 wins. And then they had the final round, which was a half-court shot. So, what ended up happening? And every round, the winner would get 100 points. 200 points put you in the championship. So, round 1. Team Cavs actually won round 1 with 44 points in the shooting round. Not all these was I able to get all the scores for all the numbers for every team, but I did as much as I could. But the sources I was using, I was not able to get everyone's, but I got as many as I could. I definitely got the winners. But the Cavs who won that event had 44, which I think was Garland or Allen who had like the most out of anyone in that round. Team Rooks put up 32, and Team Antetokounmpos put up 20. The second round was won by the Rooks over the Antetokounmpos in a tiebreaker. They got 100 points for that. And the Rooks also won the relay, which got them into the championship with a relay time of 118.5. So the tiebreaker was between the Cavs and Antetokounmpo. Giannis missed his shot. I think it was Jared Allen who put in the shot for the Cavs, and that sent them to the finale, which was a half-court shot. The Team Rooks, it took them 9.9 seconds to make a shot, but literally on an Evan Mobley, I'm forgetting the word, but basically heaved on like his first or second attempt a shot in 5.5 seconds to win the Taco Bell Skills Challenge for Team Cavs. As Team Cavs won the Taco Bell Skills Challenge in the end. 3-point shooting contest. Karl Anthony Towns, who was center / forward for the Timberwolves. Oh, once again, mixing up the Twins with Timberwolves. Trae Young, guard for the Hawks. Luke Kennard, guard for the Clippers. Patty Mills, guard for the Brooklyn Nets. CJ McCollum, guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. Desmond Bane, guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. Fred VanVleet, guard for the Toronto Raptors. And Zach LaVine, guard for the Chicago Bulls. Basically just have the most threes. Top 3 in the first round advance to the finale, and then whoever has the most of those 3 wins. In the first round, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young, and Luke Kennard ended up advancing. Karl Anthony Towns put up 22. Trae Young put up 22, and Luke Kennard put up 28. The other results, Patty Mills put up 21. CJ McCollum put up 29. Desmond Bane put up 18. Fred VanVleet put up 16. Zach LaVine put up 14. And in the finale, Karl Anthony Towns won by putting up 29, while Trae Young and Luke Kennard both put up 26. But Karl Anthony Towns was your winner of the 3-point shooting contest, which it was nice to see, like, a big guy win the 3-point shooting contest, but like it's not like anything that's like a yay. It's like a shkoyach, like you're just shooting threes. Like bravo. Like no actual skill to it. But anyways, the slam dunk contest, which is usually the big event of Saturday night. This year's contestants consisted of last year's runner-up Obi Toppin, forward for the Knicks, Juan Toscano Anderson, who's originally from Mexico and I think is the first ever Mexico descendant to participate in the slam dunk contest or something like that they were saying during the intros, forward for the Warriors, Jalen Green, guard for the Rockets, and Cole Anthony, guard for the Magic. You have each round, no matter first round, there's a first round and final round. Final rounds between two people, first rounds between everyone. You get 2 dunks, and within each dunk, you get 3 tries, 3 like actual firm tries. If you miss, you still get 6 points from everyone, which comes out to 30. But like, if you miss, it's like really, which you'll see why I explain that. And obviously, the 2 with the highest scores combined move on to the finale, and then whoever has the most combined wins it. So in the first round, Obi Toppin on his first dunk put up a 44, on his second dunk put up a 46, and got a grand total of 90. He got into the finale. Juan Toscano Anderson also got into the finale with 44 on his first, 43 on his second, and 83 in total. Jalen Green put up 38 on his first, 45 on his second, and 83 grand total. And Cole Anthony put up 40 on his first, completely failed on his second dunk, so he only got a 30, leading him to get a 70. So then in the final round between Anderson and Toppin, on the first dunk, Anderson put up 39 and Toppin put up 45. And then Anderson basically had given Toppin the win because he missed his second dunk on all 3 tries, and it basically ended without even Toppin putting a dunk. He literally could have just laid it in, done a layup, and would have won. He actually did a dunk, but I'm saying like he could have just done a layup and would have won. Like that's how stupid the ending was. But he failed on the second attempt, so he only got 30, ended with 69. Obi Toppin got a 47 on his second dunk, ending with 92, and your slam dunk contest champion. And then the All-Star game itself, Team LeBron beat Team Durant 163-160. Stephen Curry winning MVP with 50 points and most threes in All-Star game, going 16 for 27. Okay, now it's time to go on this rant. Oh my. Okay. Let me just start off with something. I was actually offered to go to this All-Star weekend. And I said, I appreciate the offer, but no. And I'm happy I didn't go. Except for the Taco Bell Skills Challenge, this All-Star weekend was terrible. Rising Stars Challenge. No one cares really about it. And even if you have a player, you don't really care for it. Celebrity Game's always something good, like no matter what, no matter who's in it, no matter how they do it, it's always something fun and everyone enjoys and everyone looks forward to it because it's people that don't usually play basketball a lot of times. Sometimes there are people that do or have played, but still it's always fun to see random people playing the game. It's fun, always. And that's in baseball has a thing, but it's softball, and it's also entertaining. But the 3-point shooting contest, no one really cared that much. This Taco Bell Skills Challenge was the only thing that was good this weekend, aside from the Celebrity Game. That was actually something fun. I think the NBA did that well, and I give them a 10 out of 10 on the system for the Taco Bell Skills Challenge this year. Like, well done. I enjoyed that. And that's the only thing I would have paid to fly to Cleveland and pay to get a ticket for. Nothing else. Dunk contest was bad this year. Terrible. Like, no one enjoyed the slam dunk contest this year. It was bad. And literally, the worst part is Toppin literally won because Juan Toscano Anderson literally missed his second dunk, which basically just gave Obi Toppin the win, which just made it even more ridiculous. And just it's just like he basically won it without even putting up a second dunk. He ended up still putting up a second dunk, but he didn't even have to, and he still won. That's like the crazy part at the end of the day is that he didn't have to put up a second dunk, and he won it because Anderson didn't even make a second dunk. And in the All-Star game, like I only watched till halftime because I was like, the defense is worse in the All-Star game. And I don't care about the whole thing. The fourth quarter was like first to like 24 points from what they were at, which was pretty much first to 163. Like, even that was trash defense. And I'm just like, how is this an NBA game? And how do people watch this game? How do people pay to go watch this game? And I feel bad for all the people that went and were at that game watching it. Even Dirk Nowitzki, who was there. Even for the NBA top 75 people that were there. Dirk was there in the broadcast booth for a bit, and I feel bad for him. Myles Garrett was at the All-Star game. I feel bad for him. Now, on top of this, it was a bad All-Star weekend, and talk about skills challenge is the only thing that was worth money. Celebrity game is always good, but it's always on Shabbos, and that's the problem. Now, one thing I want to add, and this is the roasting part. So, let me give a bit of a background to this Twitter account. It's a Twitter account called Slam, which is basically a company that has an NBA magazine. It's all basically basketball, NBA mostly, sometimes a good go into WNBA or G League, but it's primarily NBA. And everyone disagreed that this slam dunk contest was terrible. Like, everyone and anyone. And Slam, on their Twitter account, after the slam dunk contest, came out and said the following. On a certain dunk that was done by Obi Toppin, we ain't never seen this dunk before, and everyone on this internet crying about this not being a good contest. Stop it. Really? Really, Slam? Congratulations. You found a dunk that we never had seen before in the dunk contest. You want an award? You're not getting one. Bravo. One dunk. It was terrible. Like, what the heck? I don't get it. It's just ridiculous that they even try to make it sympathy. Like, of all people to try to make it good, I don't blame that Slam was the one person, but it just was ridiculous that they would even try to. Like, this was a terrible slam dunk contest. Congratulations, you found one good dunk. One good dunk out of... I don't even want to try and count how many dunks there were, especially with the ones that were failed. It was terrible, and that's just ridiculous. I did not put a link to the Slam tweet in the description, but you can find it on Twitter. Literally just search Slam online. Their primary account. Their logo is like a black, is like, for their Twitter accounts, like a S with back is a black background of it, and the S in white. Just find out on Twitter if you want to see the tweet and the dunk itself. But again, it's just like one dunk. And even someone else I was talking to about this was like, actually, that dunk has happened before. And I mean, that's not even the part I was going crazy about. It's more of them trying to make this slam dunk contest saying that it was good when it was terrible in everyone's opinion. I don't know anymore. That's my rant. That's my roasting. That's my thoughts on the All-Star game. And yeah. And that's this week's episode of the podcast. So let's wrap this up. Wrap up this madness. Thank you, everybody, for coming back for this week's episode of Betting in the Booth podcast. On episode 22, with a bit of a different setup because of the fact I hope to be having a guest. I'm hopefully going to have a guest next week. We're going to be recapping the NFL season, and if we have time, go into a bit of NBA. Thanks for watching this week. If you are new, subscribe down below to help us get 75 to 100 subscribers. by April 1st so I can do the early access opening night stream for you guys on this channel. Leave notification bell on so you're notified when I go live. And don't forget, I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. Links somewhere where you can find all my audio sources for podcasts in the description below. Thanks once again to Anchor for helping me with this. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you next week's episode. Bye-bye.